Stevie Nicks has long been hailed as the ethereal voice of rock, captivating audiences with her enchanting presence and deeply emotional songwriting. At 76, her legacy spans decades of chart-topping hits, iconic live performances, and lyrics that reflect the love, heartbreak, and personal experiences that have shaped her journey. But behind the music, there exists a lesser-known chapter of her life, one focused on a love so powerful and enduring, it has remained a quiet, almost mythical part of her story. For the first time, Stevie Nicks is ready to reveal the name of the person who left an indelible mark on her heart. This is a story of love, loss, and the kind of connection that lingers through time. The man who inspired some of her most unforgettable songs, the one she never truly let go. This is the love story that shaped much of her musical soul. In the 1960s, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham's musical path first intertwined at Menlo Atherton High School in California. What began as a chance meeting blossomed into a deep connection, both musically and personally, setting the stage for a rock and roll partnership that would go down in history. Their relationship, as layered and complex as their music, became as iconic as the songs they created together. Still in school, they performed at a senior event, their voices blending effortlessly in a harmony that hinted at the magic they were about to create. After graduation, their paths diverged briefly, but destiny called in 1972, when Buckingham invited Nicks to join his band, Fritz. This collaboration would spark the beginning of their rock and roll journey. Before long, the duo found themselves opening for legendary acts like Jefferson Airplane and Janis Joplin, plunging into the thrilling, and often overwhelming, world of 1960s rock music. When Fritz disbanded in the early 70s, Nicks and Buckingham's bond grew even stronger, evolving from a romantic relationship to a creative powerhouse. Together, they poured their hearts into their music, creating a duo that would leave an unforgettable mark on rock. In 1973, they released their debut album, Buckingham Nicks. Though it didn't climb the charts, it captured the attention of Fleetwood Mac's Mick Fleetwood, whose invitation to join the band would prove to be a game changer. Their entry into Fleetwood Mac in 1975 would not only redefine the band but also elevate their careers, and their relationship, to unprecedented heights. However, as Fleetwood Mac's success soared, their personal relationship began to crumble under the weight of fame. Pressures of sudden stardom, combined with the intensity of their creative process, began to fracture their bond. By 1976, as the band recorded Rumors, Nicks and Buckingham's relationship reached its breaking point. The heartbreak that followed would fuel some of the most powerful music of their careers. Nicks poured her sorrow into Dreams, a haunting ballad about lost love, while Buckingham's Go Your Own Way unleashed the raw energy of their fractured relationship. Their emotional turmoil became the heartbeat of Rumors, an album that would go on to become one of the best-selling of all time. Even after their romantic relationship ended, Nicks and Buckingham continued to collaborate within Fleetwood Mac, albeit with a new layer of tension. Their creative friction became a signature element of the band's sound, adding intensity to their performances and depth to their songwriting, elements that fans found both compelling and relatable. After her turbulent breakup with Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks plunged into a new realm of fame and creative exploration. Amidst the chaos of this transition, she encountered J.D. Souther, a figure who briefly, but significantly, became part of her personal and artistic journey. A meeting in the vibrant Los Angeles music scene of the early 70s would spark a connection that was as fleeting as it was meaningful. Souther, already a renowned figure in the country rock world, had penned hits for the Eagles and carved out a successful solo career. Fresh off her split with Buckingham and riding high on Fleetwood Mac's success, Nicks found in Souther someone who not only understood the pressures of fame but also shared her passion for music. Chemistry between them was undeniable, igniting a bond that transcended romance. Both Nicks and Souther were celebrated for their emotionally charged lyrics and powerful performances. The connection, while brief, was marked by a deep artistic synergy. Their love for music and mutual respect for each other's craft created a rare, almost ethereal partnership. However, the very music industry that brought them together also presented challenges that would prove difficult to overcome. The 70s music scene was notoriously male-dominated, often sidelining women or reducing their worth to their relationships with male artists. As Nicks navigated the spotlight, she found herself grappling with this imbalance while also navigating her relationship with Souther. She quickly realized that male artists, like Souther, were afforded certain privileges and respect that female artists, even those as talented as herself, were often denied. This realization only fueled Nicks' drive to carve out her identity in a male-dominated industry. As one of the most influential women in rock, she began to push back against the limitations the industry tried to impose on her. Ironically, her brief romance with Souther seemed to embolden this sense of self-determination, motivating her to seek recognition for her talent, not her relationships. Though their romance didn't last, its impact on Nick's artistry was profound. Souther's musical insight and connections exposed her to fresh creative inspirations, helping her refine her voice as a songwriter. Their relationship, though short-lived, played a pivotal role in shaping the artist we know today. After their breakup, Nicks poured her heartache into her music. Themes of autonomy, strength, and the pursuit of recognition became central to her songwriting. Songs like After the Glitter Fades and Has Anyone Ever Written Anything for You are often seen as reflections of this chapter in her life, though Nicks has always kept the full story behind her songs shrouded in mystery. As the initial spark of her relationship with Souther faded, Nicks found herself at the heart of what would become one of the most intricate and influential chapters of her personal life, her connection with Mick Fleetwood. This relationship, deeply entwined with the dynamic, and often tumultuous, energy of Fleetwood Mac, would not only shape her personal life, but also alter the trajectory of the band and the larger landscape of rock music. The foundation of Stevie Nicks and Mick Fleetwood's affair was built amidst the chaos and success of Fleetwood Mac in the late 1970s. While the band was at the peak of their fame, basking in the success of their landmark album Rumours, personal relationships within the group were beginning to unravel. Nicks had just ended her long-term relationship with Lindsey Buckingham, and Fleetwood's marriage to Jenny Boyd was hanging by a thread. In the midst of emotional turmoil and creative intensity, Nicks and Fleetwood found themselves drawn to each other. The boundaries between their professional and personal lives began to blur, leading to a passionate and tumultuous romance. The relationship was fraught with ups and downs, mirroring the unpredictable nature of their lives at the time. Their affair unfolded during a whirlwind of grueling tour schedules, long hours in the studio, and constant media scrutiny. This romance, as complicated as it was, had a profound impact on Fleetwood Mac's music. Emotional highs and lows they experienced together infused their songs with a raw, authentic energy that resonated deeply with fans. But the drama it created within the band couldn't be ignored, adding tension to the already fraught group dynamic. For the other members of Fleetwood Mac, managing the fallout from Nicks and Fleetwood's romance proved challenging. Keeping things professional amidst the chaos was no small feat, especially for Buckingham, who had to watch his ex-partner navigate a new relationship within the band. Like many relationships born from such a messy backdrop, Nicks and Fleetwood's love affair wasn't destined to last. Yet, even though the romantic aspect of their connection ended, they managed to transition into a lasting friendship. Nicks and Fleetwood learned to navigate their bond in a new way, transforming their relationship into a powerful musical collaboration. The process wasn't always smooth, but it underscored their commitment to both Fleetwood Mac and each other, proving that they could work through personal struggles for the sake of their music. After her turbulent time with Fleetwood, Nicks found herself drawn to another musical legend. It was 1977, and Fleetwood Mac was soaring thanks to Rumours. Don Henley, the drummer and co-lead vocalist of the Eagles, was also at the peak of his career. When the two came together, their chemistry was undeniable. Both known for their magnetic stage presence and their ability to pour deep emotions into their songs, Nicks and Henley made an electric pair. A shared love of music and understanding of the pressures that came with fame created a connection that seemed almost fated. But as with many passionate relationships, the very intensity that brought them together ultimately contributed to their downfall. Demands of their respective bands, coupled with the public scrutiny of their relationship, created significant stress. The pressures of their non-stop touring schedules, coupled with the temptations of fame and their strong personalities, made for a volatile mix. As their romance heated up, it also began to unravel, mirroring the same chaos that surrounded their lives. In the midst of this whirlwind romance, Nicks received news that would change everything. She was pregnant. The revelation sent her on an emotional roller coaster, bringing forth a series of tough decisions and unexpected challenges that would define this chapter of her life. Both Stevie Nicks and Don Henley found themselves at pivotal moments in their careers, each facing the demands of busy tour schedules and the pressure of new albums. The idea of becoming parents was appealing, but the reality of where they were in their lives made it feel almost impossible. After much soul-searching and no doubt painful deliberation, Nicks made the difficult choice to terminate the pregnancy. This deeply personal decision would have lasting consequences for both her and Henley. It became a turning point in their relationship, one that would leave an imprint on their interactions for years to come. In the wake of this decision, their romantic connection began to unravel slowly, weighed down by the emotional burden of what might have been and the relentless pace of their careers. The intense pressure of their professional lives proved too much for their budding romance to withstand. Yet, even as their love affair came to an end, the echoes of their time together continued to reverberate in their music. Raw emotions and experiences they shared would find their way into the songs they created, each note a reflection of a relationship that never fully faded from their heart. As the romantic chapter with Henley closed, Nicks found herself entering another significant relationship. This time, one that would impact both her personal and professional life in profound ways. In the early 1980s, Stevie Nicks teamed up with Jimmy Iovine, an up-and-coming producer, marking the beginning of a unique bond that would shape her musical journey. At the time, Nicks was already a rock star, and Iovine was carving out his place as a producer, having worked on her debut solo album, Belladonna. From the start, their chemistry was undeniable. Iovine had an intuitive understanding of Nicks' sound and a relentless drive that mirrored her own. This connection went beyond the professional, evolving into something more personal as they spent long hours working together in the studio. The creation of Belladonna marked a major turning point for both Nicks' career and her personal life. Those late nights in the studio, fueled by their shared excitement for creating something special, deepened their bond. The intimacy of their collaboration brought them closer, as their professional relationship shifted into something more personal. Nicks found in Iovine not just a talented producer, but a creative partner who truly understood her artistic vision and helped bring it to life in ways she hadn't experienced before. Their growing connection added depth to their music, and Iovine's influence helped shape the distinctive sound that would define her solo career. Songs like Edge of 17 and Stop Dragging My Heart Around were standout examples of the magic that came from their partnership. Yet, their relationship was not without its challenges. Juggling her commitments to Fleetwood Mac while simultaneously launching a solo career proved difficult, and Iovine was also facing his own challenges as he rose in the ranks of the music industry. Balancing a romantic relationship with a professional partnership in the high-pressure world of rock and roll was never going to be easy, and it eventually took its toll on both of them. Despite the difficulties, the significance of their relationship continued to resonate in Nicks' music, leaving an indelible mark on her artistic journey. As Stevie Nicks and Jimmy Iovine continued their professional collaboration, their personal relationship evolved, but they skillfully navigated the delicate balance between intimacy and work. The end of their romantic connection didn't diminish their impact on each other's lives or careers. Iovine went on to become a key figure in the music industry, co-founding Interscope Records and later playing a pivotal role in the creation of Beats Electronics. Meanwhile, Nicks continued to ride the wave of fame, but her personal life was far from smooth sailing. In 1982, while Nicks enjoyed success in her solo career, tragedy struck when her dear friend Robin was diagnosed with terminal leukemia while pregnant with her first child. The news hit Nicks hard, and the impending loss of her closest friend left her reeling. As Robin's health deteriorated, Nicks dedicated herself to being there for her friend in her final moments. In the midst of this heartbreak, Robin's husband, Kim Anderson, was also devastated, and a strong emotional connection developed between him and Nicks. In what would later be viewed as a rushed decision born from grief, Nicks and Anderson married just 3 months after Robin's death, hoping to fulfill Robin's supposed dying wish to care for her son. Their marriage shocked their friends and family, many of whom saw it as a hasty decision driven by grief rather than love. Nicks would later admit that the marriage was an attempt to keep Robin's memory alive and to assume a maternal role for her friend's child. However, the bond forged in shared sorrow soon revealed its cracks. As time passed, the differences between Nicks and Anderson became increasingly apparent. Nicks longed for the freedom and excitement of her rock and roll lifestyle, but the responsibilities of married life and motherhood began to feel suffocating. Anderson, on the other hand, struggled to fit into Nicks' high-profile career and lifestyle. After just 8 months, they decided to part ways, finalizing their divorce in 1984. Though their marriage was brief, it marked a poignant chapter in Nicks' life, one defined by loss, love, and a complex attempt to fill the void left by a close friend's passing. Nicks' next significant relationship came with Joe Walsh, a legendary guitarist known for his work with the Eagles and his solo career. Their connection began in the late 1970s when both were riding high in their careers. Nicks, flourishing with Fleetwood Mac and her solo success, met Walsh, who was already established as an iconic guitarist. What made this relationship stand out for Nicks was the sense of equality she felt with Walsh. In him, she found a true partner. They were both stars in their own right, each thriving in their respective careers, yet coming together with a mutual respect and admiration for each other. Their shared love of music created a deep bond between them, one that fueled their creativity and pushed them to new heights. Nicks often referred to Walsh as her soulmate, a testament to the significant role he played in her life. However, as with many relationships in the world of rock and roll, the weight of fame and personal struggles began to put a strain on their connection. After several years together, Stevie Nicks and Joe Walsh realized it was time to part ways. Though their romantic relationship ended amicably, the impact of their time together on Nicks' life and music was immense. Walsh remained a close friend and confidant, and his influence can still be heard in her songs. Looking back, Nicks appreciated how different her relationship with Walsh was compared to her past ones, which were often marked by competition and power struggles. With Walsh, there was an equality and support that felt rare and refreshing. They truly understood each other, not just as artists, but as people dealing with the intense pressures of fame. Their journey was filled with raw creativity, and Walsh's influence inspired some of Nicks' most poignant and heartfelt music. His guitar playing and her voice meshed perfectly, even as they battled addiction issues together. Despite these struggles, their bond only deepened. They weren't just lovers, they became allies, supporting one another through personal challenges. Sharing the highs and lows of fame brought them closer, fostering a level of intimacy that Nicks hadn't often experienced in previous relationships. The intensity of their love radiated through their music, yet, they both realized that they needed to part ways to focus on their individual recoveries. While it was an incredibly tough decision, it was made out of love and a shared desire to support each other's well-being. After the breakup, Nicks entered a period of sadness and self-reflection. He later shared that ending things with Walsh was one of the hardest decisions she ever made. The pain of their separation fueled her creativity, and somehow, their connection remained strong despite the breakup. What stood out in their relationship was their ability to turn their love into a deep and lasting friendship. This rare ability to stay close even after the romance ended showed just how much they truly cared for each other. Years later, both Nicks and Walsh would reflect on their time together with a mix of nostalgia and sorrow. For Nicks, Walsh remained the love of her life, influencing her in ways no one else could. That poetic, soulful connection left an indelible mark on her music, allowing listeners to feel her experiences deeply. What sets Nicks apart as an artist is her extraordinary ability to transform her own personal moments into stories that resonate with people on a universal level. Her songs often tap into the raw emotions of love, heartbreak, and resilience, making them relatable to audiences everywhere. Nicks has a unique talent for turning specific moments from her life into powerful, heartfelt narratives that speak to longing, nostalgia, and the wisdom gained from hard-won experience. Her honesty about what inspires her music has forged a special bond between her and her fans. Through her lyrics, people are invited into her intimate world, gaining insight into the ups and downs of her romantic life. This openness has captivated generations of fans, making them see Nicks not just as a rock star, but as someone they can deeply relate to. Her evolving perspectives on love and relationships shine through in her songs, further deepening her connection with listeners. While the passionate romances of her younger days inspired fiery, emotionally charged songs, Nicks' later works delve into a more introspective and thoughtful exploration of love. This evolution mirrors her own personal journey, from a young woman navigating the wild chaos of love and heartbreak to a seasoned artist with a wealth of experiences to share. Her music reflects a deeper understanding of love, loss, and self-discovery, capturing the wisdom gained through the years and resonating with listeners who have walked similar paths.